Okay guys, round one. As I always do at buffets, I try to go Japanese, especially with sashimi and sushi. So, got some sushi rolls, which is quite out of character for me, with some soy sauce, wasabi, some pickled ginger, and some calamansi, and then some nice salmon and tuna sashimi, and then I got me some miso soup for good measure. Right, I'll take some salmon sashimi to get us started. The salmon sashimi is nice and fresh, and flesh is quite firm, and you want that firmness because it is nicely sweet as well, and has great salmon essence. This is really good start here. This is actually really nice salmon sashimi. I must say, this is actually one of the best salmon sashimi at a buffet I've had in a while. Long while. You really taste the fresh taste of the river, really. Nice firmness. It's got a nice buttery sort of texture too. Nice buttery sweetness, I would say. Matched with that super fresh riparian sort of taste from the salmon. It's nicely fully flavored and very fresh. Quite surprisingly good. Let's move on to our ahi tuna. Mix it in our sauce. Coat some on the fish just for good measure. Just like the salmon, it's firm, fresh, good sweetness. This is above average buffet sashimi. Quite shockingly good. I have some San Miguel right now. The malty taste, extra malty taste of pale Pilsen goes quite well with the sashimi too. I think I got some spicy tuna rolls with some black sesame. With a nice hit of red ginger in that. There's a nice delightful texture with the spicy tuna maki. Rice is premium quality too. Its firmness, rigid. The right kind of doneness to that sushi rice. And salty, slightly spicy tuna. And I don't want to leave my tofu miso soup lying around too cold, so I'm going to give this a try as well. Nice bit of seaweed. And you can custom make them to your liking as well. So I added some onion, some tofu, soft tofu, and some seaweed. Nice comforting soup. It's quite refined. It's not super salty. Another one, I think some tuna roll with some green caviar on top and some sauce. Mix that around. It's all about the creaminess in that roll. With the sauce and the rice. There's some really creamy texture to accentuate that fish. And lastly, I think I'm really surprised by is the sashimi quality. It's really quite good for a buffet of this stature. Really, a lot of luxury buffets have pretty good sashimi, but I don't have like one that's quite this buttery. I'm most impressed by the salmon sashimi. But I finish all this, we go to round two. Okay, second round is some charcuterie and cheese. You know how I love doing that. And some Mediterranean. This here's some hummus. You got some baba ganoush with a couple slices of pita bread. Some pickles. Different types of cheese. Some Gouda, some blue potato, some camembert, some olives, and then some cold cuts. And this appears to be some chorizo confit. Oh, by the way, I got some garlic confit because, you know, I can't resist anything that's confit, especially garlic, because, you know, it just makes me comfy. First things first, I'm gonna go in for some baba ganoush. Very smoky, that baba ganoush. Right with the eggplant. Then I'm gonna have some garlic confit with a little bit of that too. Garlic does not have a very strong type of flavor with that. So if it just tastes kind of like a soaked up potato. It's that type. And the baba ganoush is chunky. But I'm digging the smokiness of the baba ganoush. Really complements well with that sweet eggplant. Pita bread is just okay to me. I think because it's a little more dense rather than a lighter, airier type, you know, of pita bread. I'm gonna help myself to some hummus. Nice bit of hummus. Nice garlicky hummus. That's about as right as I like my hummus too. Garlicky, good chickpea flavor. Time for some cold cuts. After eating that quite salty but flavorful cold cut, I'm gonna taste it with some pickle. Some Gouda. Nice, rich, creamy Gouda, but it doesn't have any kind of off-putting sort of taste. Doesn't have that. This is very nice Gouda. Nice big slab of cheese. I think I might regret eating cheese in the second round, especially this much cheese. Without getting into the other interesting parts of the buffet, especially all you cooked seafood to your liking and laksa soup to your liking. So I'm gonna finish this round. I think, like the first round, I think that the options here are kind of limited, but the quality of the food is really quite good. Same goes for the second round. Back in a bit and get more food. Okay, third round. This is what I call the meat and potatoes round, even though you do see a mussel with some paella on here. And that's exactly what this is. Paella. And then if this is some beef braised in red wine. And I got some US slow cooked prime rib with some creamy mashed potatoes with bacon bits on it, because who could resist that? And then this nice piece of grilled pork belly, or pork belly on the bottom. And then I kind of mistook that for that, and there's actually some Cajun chicken. So quite a hearty portion, I think, and some mushroom sauce. And because it's the first thing right in front of me, I think I'm gonna try some of this paella. And I didn't get too much, of course, because, you know, who wants to load up on rice? But the best part of the paella is always the part that touches the pan, or the bottom of the pan, where you get that nice crust and the burnt stuff on the bottom. That's the best part of the paella. I need to take a bit of that. Well, that wasn't the burnt bit. There's the burp. There's a nice burnt bit. I like the seasoning of the rice. Texture could be a bit better, to be honest. It's not mushy. Personally, I prefer a little more paprika flavor to that. And some mussel. Yeah, but that rice. Mussel's quite fresh. It's got the good size, but it's I think it's a little overdone. Alright, I think I'm gonna get some of this prime rib now. And so they what they do is they finish it off on the tabletop grill once you ask how many slices you want. And to me, I don't think it needs that, especially if it's a little more done than you'd like it to be. So they call it slow cooked prime rib, but then they finish it off on a tabletop grill, and then it's kind of like it's a little more done than I would like it to be. Let me slice this off first. I think I'm gonna take some mashed potato and smash up my prime rib. Actually nice and dark pink in the middle. So that, I think, revived my hopes on this. Let's give this a try. Maybe I misjudged this piece of beef. It's good flavor. Nice, rich flavor. I guess it doesn't really need the mashed potato, but even better with it, even though the mashed potato had been sitting out for a little bit. It's always a nice part where you get the char on the mashed potato. I'm just gonna try this with some mushroom sauce. Put some on my mash as well for later. I still think finishing it off on the grill is quite unnecessary, because what you have is a nicely flavored piece of meat, but the doneness is not where I like it to be honest, but it's good flavor. You can still taste the richness and the sweetness of the beef, but I think texturally I'd like this more rare. And now I've drummed out my what appears to be Cajun chicken breast in my mashed potato. It's coated in an avalanche of such. I would not call that a Cajun taste. It's a little kind of sweet. How should I say this? Like a honey glazed type of sweetness. I would not call that Cajun. But nice sweetness. And of course, anything with mash is really good. But of course, the natural bedfellows with mashed potatoes gotta be anything that's braised beef. Come on, you. There we go. Some braised beef and red wine with some mash. I like the depth of flavor from that beef, but could be more tender. And the last thing that looks beautiful on the plate is this pork belly. Nice portion of fat. Oh, I got 2 slabs. Whoops. That belly skin and the fat, nice and firm. Got good sweetness, but lacking a bit in the flavor. I think it needs some mushroom sauce. Pork is much, much better when dipped with some gravy or some mushroom sauce here. The very nice porky flavor that comes out too once you dip it into some sauce. And be generous with it. And of course, I always do, just dab it on some mash. Got that nicely brown portion, very satisfying taste, made better by that mushroom sauce. So I think meat round, quite solid. This pork is really good with the gravy. That beef is quite, braised beef is quite solid. Prime rib, again, a little overdone for me. But other than that, quite a good round of beef. And I think I want a hankering of some seafood coming up. Back in a bit. I would be that happy if I got my seafood too. Anyway, yes, I wish you could smell this right now, because this is some prawns, healthy sized prawns, some mussels, and some clams in a pool of garlic butter, grilled in garlic butter. And we got a side of tempura just because, you know? Alright. I think we'll try some tempura first. And I think I'll take a shrimp. Dunk that in some tempura sauce with some grated radish and some ginger. Put that on my swell. That's a nicely battered shrimp. Very satisfying crunch too. Very, very solid for a buffet tempura. Got the right kind of crispness. Those kind of crunch. Personally, I would like my shrimp to be more plump, especially if you straighten out the tempura. But this is also very solid. The vegetable tempura. So the zucchini stayed nicely crisp. We need a refreshing drink after all of that. And they have several in their juice bar. And me, I just almost downed this sago gulaman that I got. Now, it doesn't have those tapioca balls at the bottom, but it has a very clean, sugary taste. That, like I said, kind of reminds you of Coca-Cola in a way, without the carbonation. And you just taste the clean, sugary taste of that. These clams look quite nicely plump when you get them. So you get them at the cold seafood bar. And of course, like a lot of buffets here in Manila, you can get them cooked to order, however way you like it. That looks like a nice plump clam. Nice plump Manila clam. Let's dress this well, shall we? Put some garlic and, oh, an extra clam. There we go. If that isn't the most loaded clam bite you ever seen. That is a really rich, buttery clam. Really rich, garlicky butter clam. And like I said, it looked plump, and it does taste plump. With a nice hit of briny saltiness there as well. Really quite rich. I am ruining eating that as my fourth round, and here's why. Once you've eaten quite a bit, there's just that garlicky seafood sweetness. Kind of feels more rich than you thought, and it's kind of is more rich than you would like at this round. But this is really very good. I'm gonna move on to this mussel. Dip that in that garlic butter. My, we're getting so rich here. I like the clam, nice and plump. Next up is our prawn, but let me deshell that first. I had some of that head, and it's not as succulent as I was hoping for, but I'm gonna try the body now. Dip it generously in the garlic butter. And this garlic butter has a little bit of heat too from the garlic. It's actually quite preserved in there. There we go. Nice sweet shrimp. I will say that the texture of the shrimp could be fresher. Usually if it's slightly mushy, it kind of tells you that it's been there maybe a little longer than you would like it to be. But still tastes nice, plump, and sweet. But a really super fresh one will have a firmer texture than that. Alright, I'm gonna finish the rest of this. And see if I can hold on for another savory round, because like I told you, but I was fearing about the cheese, getting a little too much cheese and some of that nice baba ganoush and some hummus, I think is starting to take up space. I'm starting to think as I get older, I'm not as good a buffet eater as I would like to be. But I'll finish this, and then I'll see if I have it in me to go for another savory round. And especially if I can try some Filipino food on this buffet, since there's a pretty decent selection of Filipino delicacies. And of course I like some laksa. So, back after this. Second wind. I picked up my second wind midway through that seafood round. And it's all thanks to this wonderful drink, Sago Gulaman. And I've been drinking this like while waiting for certain food in the queue. And it's only on the third try that I finally realized you had to put the tapioca balls in yourself. Yeah, I know. Okay. So this here is some lechon kawali, some fried pork belly. And they brought out some fresh portions of pig's head. And you know how much I love pig's head. And here's some laksa that I tried to be as minimalist as possible with. Oh jeez, I forgot my chopstick. Okay. That's not a chopstick, Dad. Alright, there's some of this soup. It's like been flavored with fish balls, even though I didn't put fish balls in the soup. But it's lacking that velvety mouthfeel that I love out of laksa so much. And it doesn't have that hit of spice, like the type of cumin type of spice that I like out of the laksa. It's lacking that. It tastes more like a chicken seafood soup curry. Or I got that mixed up. A chicken seafood curry soup that's on the soupy side and less on the stewy side. So, as far as the broth, it's good, but not quite what I was expecting. Try some noodle out then. I forgot my chopsticks, but it's okay. Just use this mangy old fork. Mangy old fork, I should say. Noodles got some nice elasticity, but al dente. Quite good. I just think the broth, and it holds on well to the broth, but that broth, kind of is a little disappointing. Okay. I know what will liven up my spirits then. Not the birthday song in the background. Some lechon kawali, and I think this is some... I thought this was some vinegar, but it smelled like fish sauce to me. Fish sauce and some vinegar. Fish sauce with some siling labuyo and Thai chili. I like the flavor of that lechon kawali. I like the texture. But it's on the dry side. I'm gonna get some of that crispy pig's head. But I think this looks like cheek meat, which is my favorite part of the pig. Nice fatty, but look how unctuous and fatty that is. With a nice crust of skin. It's very good. Gosh, that's just pure fat. With some nice skin. That really is lush. And I'm not complaining, that's just really unctuous. And you know, we gotta chase that down with some sago. Oh, yes, you definitely need that drink. Okay. I think what will make this laksa better is more pork. There was no pork in to begin with. We're gonna add it to it now. Because some parts are dry. And then this broth is lacking some curry. or lacking some vital curry seasoning. There we go. That's what you need. Because it doesn't take like loxa to me. So you know what? Let me be unconventional too. They toss in some fried pork because, you know, all's fair in food and war or food wars. They're just salty on saltiness. But more satisfying. Okay, guys. I'm gonna finish this as much as I can. Definitely gonna get some more sago. And we're definitely gonna get some dessert back after this. Dessert, people. And don't do what I did at home. Don't do at home what I just did here. This is halo halo. And because the shaved ice is so small and not so big thin, it just turned into gloopy cereal. And you know what? I put every single topping there is under the sun in here. So let me see. It's got the colors of the rainbow, but it's not Skittles. I put some ube in here. It needs to all dissipate. I actually had to drink this on the way back because all the ice is melted. I put too much milk in there. There's some pandan cream. There's some pandan jelly. There's some leche flan, which I threw in there because, you know, special halo halo, you gotta put leche flan in there. Corn and plum fruits, pandan, like I said. What else am I missing? Nothing. Red beans. All in the bowl of global warming. That's what I'll call this. Super deluxe global warming halo halo. That's what this is. I need to incorporate that ube, but it's not melting. Okay. This tastes like childhood to me, but in cereal form. Look at all those toppings. And this seems like too much, especially with all the toppings, but I assure you this is refreshing. The addition of the coconut cream in here with the pandan makes it it's so satisfying and refreshing at the same time. And I'm gonna finish this. I'll try to finish it. And I think we'll be done with everything. That was enough halo halo for me. Let that be a lesson to you people who make buffets or restaurants. Please don't make your ice too shaved or too thin, because you know what'll happen when you put too many toppings in there? It'll melt it'll melt very quickly, like the polar ice caps these days. Anyway, what I have here is some infused water and 2 brownies, and not exactly 2 waffle thin brownies. No, not at all. Okay. Do you have any paper on the back? On the bottom? But anyway, because I love chocolate so much, we need a very sweet ending here. Exactly the kind of richness you want at the end of the meal, but you don't want to eat too much of. Yep, not exactly what for them. So, after this, final thoughts on the Café buffet at the Hyatt Regency City of Dreams. Back here in our deluxe or standard room at the Hyatt Regency City of Dreams, after filling up at the cafe, the buffet, downstairs at the dinner. Final review. So I guess I try not to do these rank these buffets, but I can't help but do it. So if you had seen my last one of my videos on the new Vikings buffet, I would say this City of Dreams buffet is exactly what you would have expected out of the new Vikings buffet if the food quality was better. Hey, geez, that's quite to the point, isn't it? So this is a weeknight buffet, dinner buffet. It's about a little over 2,000 pesos per person. So that's about $40 US, whereas the new Vikings buffet is priced at about 30 for dinner. And this here at the City of Dreams is not quite the special meals like you would see on Friday or Saturday night dinner or Sunday brunch, which is their best, which is almost at 3,000 pesos. So this is a pretty nice bargain. They do run a lot of promotions, I believe, especially if you are a Philippine card holder or credit card holder. There are promotions for you. Sometimes some of it really generous, like 30 to 40%. So you can, if you're a local, you can actually eat pretty well here and, not exactly break the bank. I think that this is kind of like Shangri-La's buffet, in that it's a quality over quantity buffet, but it's lacking the show-stopping items that you would find at Shangri-La that will make you want to come back, like, the beef cheek sous vide and their, amazing lechon, provided that you go in for it early. The buffet here at the Hyatt Regency, City of Dreams, it's pretty much is a quality over quantity. It's not, there aren't too many, I wouldn't say there are many average dishes out of the bunch. They're really quite good, especially the sashimi, which really surprised me. As far as the quality goes, it's some of the best I've ever had at a buffet, bar none. And, I think as far as big ticket items, it's kind of lacking there, but, you do get good quality for what you pay for the food here. It is lacking show-stopping big ticket items now, and you have to go to the weekend dinner or the Sunday brunch to probably see this place at its best and try it at its best. And with that said, it is money well spent. As far as, a memorable meal, it kind of falls short of that. But let me know in the comments what you guys think of this Hyatt Regency City of Dreams Cafe buffet, dinner buffet, if you have tried it. If you like this video, please give it a like, and tune in for more videos. Please subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye for now.